What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I think I've talked on this before, and it looks like I'm going to have to talk on it again. The usage of the N-word. So, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, there is a word that it's if you are a person that is not black and you say it to a black person without their consent, there ain't like no like acting, there ain't no like there's no reason for you to walk up to a black person and say the N-word to them. But if you say, even if you're just using it in a conversation, all right, you gotta like correct yourself, okay? You gotta correct, like, so for an example, let's say if you're like, oh man, there's these two people, they were arguing. One lady, she was being racist and called him, and then you say it. No, you say that she called that man. I feel like when they're given that opportunity to say the N-word, they're gonna use that opportunity. Like, that's one thing where I'm like, so shout out to all my like non-black friends that have gotten around me and they know how to correct themselves when saying the N-word. They don't actually say the word, they say N-word. That's the only, that my thing is like, that's the only way possible that you can refer to the N-word as the N-word, is the N-word. You cannot say, oh, well, they said it like this, but they said, no. My thing is like, if I don't feel comfortable with you saying that, you can say it amongst yourself, you can say it in the closet 3 times and spin around, you can do whatever you want to do with the knowledge of the N-word. But when you get around black people like myself, when you get around, and here's the thing, when somebody is racist, like, okay, I can see that they're racist. It's not going to cause me to cry. I'm not going to be mad about them being racist. I'm like, you were just raised on the wrong side of town. Like, you was raised in a part of town where that stuff is normal, or in a household where that type of stuff was normal. And my thing is like, every time when I've called people out on, just freely saying the N-word, because even recently with the just the robot situation, yeah, okay, he might have been like, if we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, all right, so he's just repeating what he heard, he's just saying it in a way where he's not being racist. He still said it though. Like, that's something where I'm like, okay, if it's bad to say all of these other different words. Like, you don't hear Keemstar going out saying like, oh yeah, like this YouTuber was, saying like, I mean, yeah, there is a video of Keemstar saying the N-word. Yes, he has apologized for it. Yes, he answered for that. And he's not saying it today. But my thing is like, with that situation, comparing just a robot to Keemstar, Keemstar apologized for that stuff, and he's never used the N-word since then. If he has, then it's just something that we don't know about. But when he is describing something on, and my thing is like, what? Keemstar, he's been doing videos for a while now. So I would imagine at some point in time, Just a Robot, throughout the years he's been doing videos, Just a Robot came into place. And regardless of how you're using it, when Keemstar, when he's doing a news story and when he's talking on, let's say if a YouTuber encountered somebody that was racist, if he's describing the story, he's going to be like, yeah, this person came up to them, was calling them the N-word, and you see, that's how you say it. But when you're like, oh, yeah, this, and you're actually saying this, I'm not trying to say the word because I don't know how things work on my podcast and stuff. So I'm like, I'm not trying to say it. And then next thing you know, my podcast, because there was an episode that I posted a long time ago that got taken down. And I was like, I don't know why it did. So I'm like, I posted the episode. I can't remember which episode it was, but I'm like, I'm just trying to avoid takedowns and strikes and all of that at all costs. So I won't be actually saying the word. You see how I'm correcting myself on not saying the word? And I am a black, African, American, Afro-American, however you want to refer to me, okay? I am a black person, and I even know how to correct myself when not saying the N-word. And I'm black. I can use the word. Other black people, they're black. They can use the word. There's so many black people that I know that don't use the word. They don't use the N-word. So my question is to people out there that feels like it's okay to use it, feels like, How come I haven't seen no video of you going to places like Harlem or Compton or Chicago? Like, better yet, go to O Block in Chicago. Go to like a hard area in Chicago. You go to an area where you see the maximum of 100 black people. You go out there and you try to give them that same story of the usage of the N word and why you feel like it's comfortable. If you come up out of there, okay, like feeling like Peter Griffin when he went to the hood and said the N word and he came back in like a royalty outfit. If you come to me looking the same way after you done explain to numerous black people your usage or how you can use the N word, you have full permission for the rest. But it's like, why does my say so, like, you shouldn't have to come up to me? That's why I'm like, you gotta go up to all black people. I'm just one black person telling you that it's not okay to use the N word. If there's multiple black people telling you that it's not okay to use the N word, or you gotta secretly say it, or you're racist. Period. And I know people are gonna be like, oh well, what if? And so here's the thing. I know there's just gonna be people that want to come up and be like, oh well, I didn't. Oh well, I did this. Oh, but when you can. Oh, but you trying to come up with every excuse on why they should say it. That's some racist stuff right there. Oh, and it's like, okay, benefit of the doubt situation. You're not racist, but you feel like that you should use the word. No, that's just like if there's the derogatory F word for people that like the same sex. You can't say that, okay? Or if there's a derogatory word towards Asian people, you can't see it. Hispanic people, you can't say it. And my thing is like, why is it that there's people out there that feel like that they have their rights to say the N word and everything else, but why is it that a person like myself, I can look at my Asian friends, I can look at my Hispanic friends, my Middle Eastern friends, white friends, and there's words that I won't say like to them and stuff, and it's like, there's racist derogatory words that exist with them, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say that. There's no reason for me to say that. I have no reason to. And I'm like, and that's like the one thing, I'm like, I got a lot of Hispanic friends, and there's derogatory words that I've heard for Hispanic people, and I'm like, I will never ever, I won't even, that's not even something I will argue with. And I know, like, if people were to be like, or if there's a situation or a scenario where there was an argument going down, right? There's an argument going down and a white person is being racist to a Hispanic person, and they're saying all these derogatory, like, racist terms towards them and stuff. If I were to tell one of my friends, like, oh yeah, I've seen this like crazy white lady today using all these racist derogatory terms towards this Hispanic person, that's how I'm describing that story. If they ask me, oh, which words did they use, I'm like, are you sure you want me to tell you the words? Like, is it okay for me? Because I'm like, I'm not trying to say the words and then that you feel like, I'm just saying, like, just getting their permission. So it's like, my thing is like, if you're getting permission to say the word around somebody, you're not one of those people where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to jump straight to it and just say the word. I'm like, no, there should never be a situation where you just jump to it and just say the word. Never. All right, there should never be a time where you do some stuff like that, because you don't know if a person feels comfortable with that or not. So talking back on like the Keemstar and Just a Robot situation, I know with Just a Robot, I know I did say I was going to be done talking about him and stuff, but just to use him as an example. Now, when he came out, or when there's this that video that came out of him exposing him for being a racist, and he's trying to come up with every excuse as why, and I'm like, fam, you're using the N-word in your videos. That's all that needs to be said. There ain't no arguments or none of that. You're using the N-word. That is a word that many people find uncomfortable. So my thing is like, all of those videos that he has of himself saying the N-word, do you think you could be able to go up to a black person in Harlem, Compton, Chicago, or any area like where the like majority of the people there are black? Do you think you'd be able to go there and play them that video? Or better yet, do you think you'd be able to play the video of the Just a Robot by Prison Mate Luke? Do you think you'd be able to play that video in front of a crowd of black people? And then do you think at the end of the day you will have an explanation for yourself? Oh well, and this and this, and I was meant to say, or I was trying to say, or I was doing there. Look, at the end of the day, there's no explanation on why you're saying the N-word. There's no explanation at all. Once when you say it, there ain't no turning back. There's no turning back at all. And I know there's times where people, besides the N word, there's been times when people have said like other racist derogatory things towards me. I remember I called this one guy out on Twitter where he called me a delusional monkey. And I said, you can't call people, black people a monkey. And he was all like, oh, I was just playing. I'm like, I don't care. Like, you don't do that. And he's like, oh, well, I have black friends and I call them a monkey all the time. That is your friends. Did we agree on being friends right now? No, we did not. So I'm telling you, do not call me a monkey. Period. There's no arguments about it. There should be no discussion about it. There should be, yes, I will no longer call you a monkey. If you still, at the end of the day, decide, I'm going to call this man a monkey because I feel like it, I have the rights to call him a monkey. No, you're just saying, hey, I'm racist. That's it. That's all. That at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, if you're a racist, that's all you need to tell me. But it was funny because I got that man caught up, and after that, he could not respond to nothing else. But I told him, I was like, okay, well, you know what? Put it to the test. I see that you live in New York. So you go to an area like Brooklyn or Harlem. You go to an area where there ain't nothing but black people out there, and you try to go out there with that same energy about why it's okay to call black people a delusional monkey. Just because you put delusional in front of it don't mean it's less racist. You're still at the end of the day calling a black person a monkey. Then it was funny because he already knew what would have happened to him if that would have happened. He was like, why do you always think that somebody's going to be violent towards me just because I'm like, so you know what's going to happen. So why do you think it is okay then? If you know that that's because I'm like, my thing is this. You're going to feel comfortable saying it to me. And then you're going to say it to more black people on the internet and more black people on the internet and more black people on the internet. Then eventually you're going to get comfortable and you're going to say that type of stuff out to somebody face to face out in public. And you know what? There is not going to be one person in this world to protect you. You're going to get laid out. And you might end up in a World Star Hip Hop Fighting compilation on when they upload those videos. Wasn't it Thursdays? I don't know. It's been years since I've watched the World Star Hip Hop Fight compilation, but you're going to end up in one of those compilations. And guess what? I hope that I'm there. And man, I just want to be able to just stand over you and just be like, I told you so. You cannot, under any circumstances, I don't care if you're describing a story, I don't care, because my thing is this, there's been times where my friends that are either white, Hispanic, or, whatever, they came up to me and they've told me stories about, like, they're, like, of a racist encounterment that they either seen go down, or that they've seen on the internet, or whatever. And when they're saying, like, they're like, oh, yeah, that person was, dropping the N-word and the N-bomb. They have, like, other ways of, saying it. But they say the N-word. I'm not going to get offended if they say just the N-word. But I'm going to look at them a little bit crazy. I'm like, you feel comfortable saying that? Like, that just rolled off the tongue like nothing. I'm like, huh, okay, like... All right, so you don't care about that, don't you? I'm like, bet you got a pair of black Air Forces at your house too. I'm like, that ain't right. But it's like at the end of the day, if a black person or anybody of color tells you that they feel uncomfortable with you saying a certain word, that's it. Like that's all that needs to be said there. And you, as a person that respects other people, and if you don't respect other people, and if you're racist, say that. But there shouldn't be no arguments about, oh, why I'm able to say this or why I'm able to say that. There ain't no arguments about that. There's no arguments about the usage of any, like, besides the N-word, any other racist derogatory word out there that's used to describe a race, there's no reason for you to say that word, okay? Unless you are being paid in a Quentin Tarantino movie to say that word, then it's like, oh, okay, well then get your check, get your money, do what you need to do to survive. But if you just saying that word just because you feel like you need to say that word, if you feel like, or you're describing a story and it's like, oh, well, I feel like it wouldn't be the same if I described it the other. I'm like, look, it is. I know what you're talking about when you say the N-word. I'm like, that's one thing. I'm like, and once again, shout out to all of my non-black friends that have told me stories about like racist, things that went down. And they never once was all like, oh yeah, where they were saying all these like other different. They'll just tell me that they're saying racist stuff to the person. I'm like, that's all you need to tell me, okay? That's all I need to hear at the end of the day. If they want to tell me each word they said, I'm just gonna be like, all right, go ahead and tell me, say what you need to say and things. And yeah, I'm just like, but it's like the N-word. It's just, that's like, It's a word that you just don't say. Period. You know, there's so many people out there, and I'm like, I would like to just, you know, just kind of like ask people, like, would you like, what's the right time to say the N word? Because that's at the end of the day, like the argument that they're trying to give me is like, there's right times and there's wrong times to say the N word. No, there's like the only, like I said, the only time, because it's like, even when you have it where there's actors in movies where they feel, because for like how I mentioned in Quentin Tarantino movie, I know in the movie Django, I think Leonardo DiCaprio, it was him, where he said that he felt very, very uncomfortable saying the N word. And you know who had to sit him down to talk to him and be like, bruh, it's okay. Like, you know, at the end of the day, you getting paid, you getting a check. This ain't really you, you're a character. Like, if this is really you, then it's like, okay, then there needs to be another conversation happening. But if this ain't really you, bruh, get your check, get your money, and go about your day. This person is not describing you. You know who you are at the end of the day. And if you know that you ain't a racist, you know that you ain't a racist. But it was Samuel L. Jackson that had sat that man down, from what I heard, allegedly. I believe it was him. It might have been Jamie Foxx. I don't know. But anyways, allegedly, Samuel L. Jackson sat Leonardo DiCaprio down and told him, like, hey, it is okay. And Samuel L. Jackson, I mean, that's like the one man in like Quentin Tarantino movies and just all movies together where it's like he ain't got no filter. If he's telling you, okay, to have like an unlimited, you will not go crazy with it, just go off the script. Go off the script. That's all you need to do. If you start improvising and going crazy with it, that's when you're going to have black people on set looking at you like, hey, wait a minute. Like, that man read that script 50 times. I'm like, that wasn't in the script. Hold on, cut. Wait a minute, time out. Then I'm like, what was he doing over there? And you know, that's when it's like, okay, you know, you call somebody out on that. But yeah, I'm like, my thing is like, look, there's white people that I know that, you know, they don't be saying the N-word crazy and stuff. You know, and it's like, and there's one of my friends I used to work with. He, you know, we always had like talked on racism and stuff, and we were like extremely against it. I told him about the crap that I dealt with on YouTube. He told me about just stuff that he's like heard or things that we seen on TV. And never once was he all like, you know, and just even when he would be describing something that was like some racist things that would go down, he just would tell me like, you know, oh yeah, it's like the N-word was being thrown around this. And, you know, he never once said it was all like, oh, can I say it just, you know, just to tell the story correctly and things. I'm like, nah. I'm like, it's when you gotta ask me questions like that, then it's and it was even funny. There is this comedian, and after this I'm like in this episode, but there's this comedian, I can't think of his name, but it was funny because, and this is like even a word I don't be fair, like, you know, it's the word to describe short people and stuff, because I know short people find like the M word derogatory and stuff. So there's words that I'm still finding out till this day where I'm like, oh, if that's derogatory, I'm not saying it anymore. I'm stopping myself from saying that word altogether. Okay. So, but the word to describe short people that starts with an M, right? So he said that word in a conversation, and somebody had stopped him and told him that, hey, it's wrong for you to say that word. That's like saying the N word. And that, it was funny what he said. He was all like, that's how you know one word is worse than the other one. Because the person, when they was like, hey, don't say the word, and they said it, they was like, that's like saying the N word. He's like, you know, one word is worse than the other when you have to describe it as the beginning letter of the word and then call it word. So overall saying the N word and stuff, and you're still saying the other word like there's, you know, like nothing wrong with it and stuff. So yeah, it's like when it's like that, it's, yeah, you know, just all together. And I was like, a part of me was like, okay, I kind of agree with what that person said. If people find that word discriminating or derogatory and stuff, like, then okay, you know, I won't say it. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that people still look as the N word as an offensive word. So the usage of the N word at the end of the day, all right, and I know people are all like, oh, well, black people shouldn't say it. Black people, it don't matter what black people, if they say it or not. It does not matter. They're black. You're not. Like, if it's like, my thing is like, yeah, it's like they're black, you're not. So if they want to say certain things amongst each other, that is on black people, not you. You're not the spokesperson of black people. I don't know why everybody feel like they're like, oh, well, black people shouldn't, black people. No, You should not be talking. That's why I'm like, because that ain't no different from the comment where somebody had sent to me, or it was a tweet. It was a tweet because I said something about like the like all of the things that's going on with black people today, where it's like black people are getting wrongfully shot and killed, and somebody sent me a tweet saying, well, maybe they shouldn't be out robbing and stealing, you know, overall trying to like say some most stereotypical stuff about black people. And I'm like, you gotta understand that what you just said don't describe all black people, and the black people that was being shot and killed by cops, and you know, there was a one guy, that man was literally just jogging, minding his own business, and he got tracked down by some white people and shot and killed. So what was he doing? Do you know, like, when they say things like that, I'm like, that's how it is when people be trying to give me, like, way, or, you know, trying to explain to me that it's okay to say the N-word. It's like, no, none of that stuff matters to me. Don't say the N-word. And at the end of the day, you won't be put in that category as a racist. Regardless of how you are using it, do not say it. Period. Like, it shouldn't be no arguments about that. But if people want to argue about it, then we obviously know where you stand in life. So, but anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch at TMossBoss. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 32 YouTube channels. And in the meantime, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.